Good morning, welcome to another vlog. Today is a little different, yet eerily similar to some of my older stuff. Now the goal is to build a way for people who can't ollie up curbs to still get up curbs with just riding directly into them. Now like a lot of my DIY projects, this will probably end up in a huge disaster, but I just got done shopping at Home Depot for what I think is all of the gadgets that will be necessary for this project. To be completely honest, I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing, but I think if I can get this rail to stay here, then when I ride up a curb, as soon as he gets past this truck, it'll just go up this metal, hit the wheel, and there'll be no problem. Now where the nose is, I found smaller pieces that I think will work the same way. It's a little odd because it's elevated right before the wheel, but I think if I drill enough beforehand, it'll be stable enough to get at the curb without breaking. Now for the first drill, since it's kind of a long ways to drill, I'm just gonna find where I think the hole will be and drill right there and kind of just base everything off this one point. And then I'll try to do it exactly parallel with this line on the other side. Now we can go and see if the screw will just fit through this, fit through the hole, and end up on the other side of the board, which it did. So we have the first one in, but you can see that it's a little elevated, which I don't think will matter if you're going even a slightly moderate speed up a curb. I'm pretty sure it'll conquer that millimeter. Now I'm gonna put one more right here where this hole is, and then I'm gonna do the same thing to the other side, and then we'll try to do the small ones on the nose, which I am deathly afraid of. That's a huge exaggeration. I'm not deathly afraid. Okay, so there's one on, and it feels unbelievably sturdy. Hopefully it'll survive this little tiny gap right here going up a curb. If not, I can just scoot it down an inch or so. The battery's dead. Okay, so I'm just gonna leave the camera recording and try to just go through the rest of this process and give my little 2 cents throughout. But I have a feeling that the nose part is gonna be ridiculously hard. It worked. It seems like it's working well. It looks insane on the bottom. I have no idea if it's actually gonna make it up that curb. Okay, let's finally put this thing to the test. Today has been a long day. It is 5 hours later from when I put this thing together, but we're just gonna go straight at this curb. The only thing that has to happen for this to work is that the nose has to be higher than the curb, so the nose doesn't stop directly when it hits it. If it's a little taller, once it gets up there, everything else should work in motion. Super nervous because I've been spending all day on this and other projects, but let me, okay, I'm gonna wax this metal just like I would a skateboard because you can get a curb to grind and maybe the wax will just give it that extra little. For example, this doesn't work because the nose is a little lower, so we have to find a little bit lower of a curb. Okay, let's just try it. Okay, let's just try it on the lower part and hope that I don't get pitched 1,000 feet. Oh, technically worked. There's resistance because the metal is actually hanging a little low, so if you keep your feet straight and try to keep it not really from turning, which of course it kind of defeats the purpose of a skateboard, then it should work. I did make it up the curb, so I'm gonna try it again. Oh my God. Look what I just did. It's because these bolts are sticking out, which for some reason I thought wouldn't have an effect on it. Okay. Let's try one more tactic. Let's see if we can ride up the curb if we lift up a manual just a little bit, and then maybe the back is mellow enough to where the screws won't catch it and it'll make it up the curb. Okay, so this time I'm gonna lift up the front wheels like this and see if this one can ride out on the curb. Okay. All right, so that one actually works. Hold on, let's get a couple more angles so you can kind of see what happens. One thing that I was making sure that I was doing was not putting my front foot on the nose, because from there, you can just teeter-totter the board up the curb. I was trying to make sure that my front foot was far enough back to where the thing in the middle of the board, the metal, was actually lifting me up the curb. And it was, so I think the only problem with the first one is that the screws were sticking down a little bit and it wasn't making it up. The second one in the middle was so mellow that the indentation of the screw sticking out of the metal wasn't as significant. Perhaps the consensus of all of this is that you probably should be able to at least lift your front wheels up to get up curbs. Or you can learn how to ollie. I just know that cruising through cities, sometimes getting up a curb and ollieing up really fast can take time to develop. It's not as easy as learning just an ollie. Cruising through a city is a whole different mentality. So having something on your board that can get you up curbs easier was my goal today, but I probably wouldn't recommend doing this. There's still a significant jolt when you hit the curb. You still get up and you still don't have to ollie, but that jolt is something that you're gonna have to adapt to. I'm sure there's a much smoother way to figure something like this out, but you know what, I'll keep trying. But before I get to my flat ground tricks and my skating, I had a quick Q&A, one question, one answer from Davey A, I think was his name, and he was asking, when am I gonna get a restock on my clothing? I don't know if I've given all the details of what I'm doing. I'm pretty sure I'll have like 100 announcements pretty soon, but I have been working on the next line of clothes for a while now, and I'm extremely excited about it. They're just getting better and better because I'm sort of figuring out more what people like, but also what I like, and I'm getting more confident about the colors to put out and making things that I think are more exciting. And I've been working with fabric and stuff like that. I'm getting more into the details and depths of building actual clothes. Basically with the clothing brand, there's so many people now who do merch with their stuff, so I have to go as elaborate as possible. So with me, I'm sort of going the farthest way I possibly can. I'm making an actual clothing brand with unique quality, all that stuff, whatever. But the cool thing is with every season, every 3 months, there's gonna be a whole new line with all new stuff, and if it sells out, it sells out. That's it. So it's all exclusive for the time. That isn't just a tactic to sell things, it's also hard to keep restocking on things and it takes a lot of time. So it's best to just actually get one big order of things and then move on when the next season comes. But from there, every single month I'll be doing pop-up shops all over America. I wanna do a lot back home in South Carolina as well because I think there's an amazing community there, and I never really do my part in supporting that community, but doing a collaboration with Blue Towel or doing a collaboration with Revive in Cincinnati. These are all the plans coming up, and every single month there's gonna be an exclusive set of clothes for that pop-up shop. It's not gonna be as much as the lines, it's not gonna maybe be as much detail, but it's gonna be fun, exciting clothing, and that's my goal throughout here, is the colors, the aesthetics, rather than just pushing the idea of like a skateboard brand. That isn't the idea. The idea is progress daily. The idea is working with charities and trying to do whatever I want, and all this stuff sounds like, I don't know, I feel weird talking about it, but it's the idea behind the brand the entire time was to actually be able to make a difference and create new things and dabble into other things rather than just clothing, even though right now that is my prime source and that's what I love to do. But there's a lot of other things coming into this, and this year it's gonna be, I just think it can really do good stuff, and that's what excites me. But anyway, skateboarding. Of all the craziness that's going on, and usually I don't talk about politics and all that stuff, but obviously it hits me deep. And today it was pretty hard for me to get out of the house and vlog because today is the day where just so much stuff is happening. There's so many things on the news. It's just a hard time, but at the end of the day, it's about empathy. It's about having empathy for your fellow man and trying to understand where other people's heads are, and not judging people based on superficial things, especially things that they can't control. Like being born a certain way or looking a certain way, it's insignificant to who they really are. Progress Daily Clothing, if you're not following it, go follow it, Progress Daily Clothing, because I'll be updating very consistently on that for now on. I'll be dropping quotes and things about the clothing line, so all the updates with the clothing line you'll see on that Instagram, and I'll be posting footage of people who get tricks with the clothes. It's gonna be a full-blown, like, exciting Instagram. I'm stoked, and guys, I'm talking too much, and I will see you guys tomorrow for another video. So love you so much, Progress Daily, and keep killing it!